So there was a gentleman who was democratically elected. I forget his name. What is his name? I'm going to fuck it up. So he decided that he was going to nationalize oil in Iran. And they got him out like that. They installed the Shah and turned it into an Islamic dictatorship. But they had access to the oil. So the CIA and the British government and everybody conspired to get rid of this democratically elected guy. Because Iran at the time was like, women were wearing shorts, or skirts rather, walking down the street. It looked cool. Here it is. Mohammed Mossadegh. Okay. So let's zoom in on the story here. It says Iranian Prime Minister Mohammed Mossadegh was removed from power in a coup organized and financed by British and U.S. governments. The Shah quickly returned to take power and signed off over 40% of Iran's oil fields to U.S. companies. It's crazy, man. It's like, it's so transparent. They didn't even wait a couple of years. They didn't even, well, the Shah's in power now. We'll see how things go. They immediately came in and signed everything off. 1953, the CIA and British intelligence orchestrated a coup d'etat that toppled the democratically elected government of Iran. The government of Mohammed Mossadegh, the aftershocks of the coup are still being felt. 51 Prime Minister Mossadegh roused Britain's ire when he nationalized the oil industry. So the oil, they weren't making money off the oil. They were making money, but not as much money as the British were. Yeah. It had been exclusively controlled by the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. The company later became known as the British Petroleum.
This
BP.
time it's different, though. We don't want the
which
oil
is
this time.
They're the same people that dumped all the oil in the Gulf.
Yeah, exactly.
That's BP. After considering military action, Britain opted for a coup d'etat. President Harry Truman rejected the idea, but when Dwight Eisenhower took over the White House, he ordered the CIA to embark on one of its first covert operations against a foreign government. And Iran's been fucked ever since. I mean, we've been doing stuff like that. Not you and I, not me and Danny Jones. We're innocent. But the United States government, especially the intelligence agencies in the days, before they assassinated Kennedy, they were doing all kinds of wild shit.
Oh yeah.
And
we're done now. We don't do that anymore. They don't do that shit anymore.
They definitely don't.
No. They would never. They don't give a shit about the oil over there.
No, this government's America first now. We're legit.
America first.
It's a crazy history.
Bro.
And
when
you don't know the history, you go like, why are we mad at the Iranians? Well, why are they mad at us? Okay. Like, what did we do to them? Like, how did these Islamic jihadists come to power? Like, where did it all start? Well, go back to the Mujahideen. We literally changed their definition of jihad. Like, we wanted them to become suicide bombers. We wanted them to do things and martyr themselves. So it was the original definition of jihad. Look this up, but I'm pretty sure it was a war against your own vices.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. The idea was you were trying to be a good Muslim, a pure Muslim. You were trying to avoid impure thoughts, no alcohol, all these different things. And they twisted that around with jihadists and through the CIA and Osama bin Laden and the Mujahideen to fight off the Soviet Union when the Soviet Union occupied Afghanistan. Like, Osama bin Laden was our guy.
Right.
He was working for us.
Yeah.
And then he's like, these fucking people suck.
Yeah, there was the story how his pancreas
A struggle
failed.
against the enemies of Islam, a spiritual struggle within oneself against sin. Greatest jihad. Yeah.
It sounds great.
Isn't that interesting? A spiritual struggle within oneself against sin.
Yeah, I mean, just reading it sounds like
so. It seems like it's more than one definition.
There's probably so many bastardized
The other one is
versions.
Declared a jihad against the scroll back down again. Struggle or fight against the enemies of Islam. So it's two things, but they made it.
Yeah.
They did a lot of mind fucking to those people, and they put them on a war that they couldn't win, again, to try to do the same thing that they were doing with the rocket program, with everything else. They were trying to outspend the Soviets. They were trying to bankrupt them.
Yeah. That part of the world is just like, how much of it has to do with the fact that we've been occupying that area, that part of the world for so long, and going out there, killing all the bad guys, and then the kids seeing their families being slaughtered, and then okay, we're going to eliminate terrorism, let's take out these bad guys. But then the kids grow up and you realize it's just the Hydra. You cut the head off and 3 grow back.
Well, if you want to be even more cynical, we pay them and we arm them.
Yes.
and we left behind billions of dollars of shit
Yeah.
in Afghanistan that they use for parades now. They drive down the street with
our
our
shit.
tanks.
Yeah.
They have our Black Hawks flying overhead.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the shit we left. Billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you couldn't have got that out? Well, do you think they leave it there so that these people are always formidable and they always leave open the door to go back in?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think that's the primary reason why they did it, but I've got to assume that that would be on the table if it's been on the table in the past. Arming people in the past has always been a thing that we do. I mean, there's a Bill Hicks joke about Iraq. You know, it's like, they have the most deadly weapons. How do you know? Well, we looked at the receipts. I butchered the joke, but But you know, we've always been doing that. Of
course,
we've done that forever.
Yeah. What's my favorite Bill Hicks joke? At least that I'm not like a historian on Bill Hicks, but the one where he's talking about the sock puppets. He's like, I like this guy on the right. He seems like he fits my ideas. He's like, well, I think fancy the guy on the left. He's like, what the fuck? The same guy's holding both the puppets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's perfect. Perfectly illustrates the way it is. You know?
Yeah. And again, this was before we really knew things. This was Bill Hicks was saying this in the 1990s, where we just had books. So, you know, it was really hard to get these ideas across. Mm-hmm. He would have been a great podcast guest.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, because he was like saying these things when no one even knew what he was saying, you know, and he was putting it into comedy. You know, like people then were not nearly as aware of the manipulation of money and power. They really thought, a lot of people thought that the will of the people, you know, the president, we got to get a good president in there that's looking out for us. And they didn't really understand that it's all being bought and paid by special interest groups, large corporations, huge donors, and that when the guy gets in there, he's just representing the same thing no matter what.
Yeah, the amount of reading and insight and learning that guy was, a lot of those dudes were able to do back then pre-internet is astonishing. Yeah. And to be able to like internalize and process those ideas and rework them with draft after draft and refine it into like the most perfect way to communicate it to people to where it lands, you know, it's fucking crazy. And in today's day and age, it's almost like you would think it would be easier with all of the access to information, but it seems like it might even be harder because there's just too much information. Like last night, listening to you talk was fucking incredible, dude. Like listening to how you were at the end doing this, like the Q&A with the crowd. You're like, I ran out of jokes. Who wants to ask me questions? And you were just on another gear, dude. It's like you're so high octane and you're so like up to speed with everything that's happening around the world at all times. It's mind-blowing to me how you're able to do this stuff, how you're able to stay up, do comedy late, do podcasts every day, and be like up to speed with all the news and like have like thought through a lot of these things that just happened yesterday. I'm just fascinated by that, dude.
Well, that's all I do. You know, when you only pay attention to fascinating things, like things that are interesting to you, and they're also interesting to the audience. But I mean, I don't have a regular job, right? So this is my job. Yeah. This is my job to kind of pay attention to stuff. Yeah. You know, and have opinions on things. And then the tricky thing is taking those opinions and trying to make them funny. You know, trying to like put it in a way that's going to be hilarious on stage. What
do you think about this Diddy thing that just happened this morning?
Kind of crazy.
He's free.
I'll tell you what, Kurt Metzger called this from the beginning, and especially when he found out that Comey's daughter was going to be the judge. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Wasn't she the same judge on the Ghislaine Maxwell case? Yeah.
Oh yes, I did hear this.
Yeah. Bro, where's the videos? They were telling us that videos are going to come out. Incredibly high-profile people doing horrendous things, evil things. People are going to go to jail. People are going to be shocked.
Yeah.
Where?
Right.
Nothing.
Well, like,
zero.
My thing about the Diddy thing is like, I don't really give a fuck. These people they're of age. They're like 18 years old. And is it shitty what he's doing, trying to like use people and leverage them into do these weird sexual things and like sick shit, just the most sick shit you could possibly think of. But like the way I look at it is these people are using this Diddy stuff. All it does is like take away from the real child trafficking that's going on with like underage kids, right? There's like 300,000 something like missing kids. Like talking about Diddy and his oil parties with these 18-year-olds, like, do I think it's good? No. I want to beat up their dad, but other than that, I don't really give a fuck if there's like 18 to 19-year-olds that are doing this stuff, as long as they're not being like actually like physically raped. But I mean, it seems like what's going on is just like this weird cultish thing where they slowly get creep closer and closer and closer to this thing. Like, oh, I'm here now. All these famous people are here. They're doing this. Like
elaborate parties,
yeah.
lots of money, everything you want. The golden carrot at the end of the stick.
Right.
So the thing is, he's not even being charged for any of the things you just brought up. He's not being charged for blackmail,
right.
which is kind of crazy because, what did they do? Why did they tell us that there was all these videos of all these high-profile people and then silence, and then it never comes up once during the trial? There's none of that stuff in the trial. In the trial, it was his ex-girlfriend Cassie. They were talking about, so like, he's up for these 2 charges left, and it's like prostitution, something. It's like nothing stuff. It's like stuff that he's going to go to jail for like 5 years, if at all, and probably won't.
Right.
And he's already been in jail for, so like, what is time served now? It's over a year, right?
Yeah. No, I think he's going to walk, dude. I mean,
I think he's going to walk,
I don't
too.
think he's going to spend any time.
And this is what Kurt Metzger called a long time ago. As soon as he saw that it was Comey's daughter, he was like, oh, he's going to walk. Trust me, he's going to walk. There's a bunch of high-profile people that are connected to this.
Yeah.
They're covering it all up. If he goes down, they go down. So he's not going to go down.
Right.
So that's the thing. Like, if he really did have like really wealthy, high-profile people at his parties, which we know he did, you know, Diddy prosecutors abandoned multiple allegations against rapper days before trial's end. Hey, he says,
wow.
Hey, remember I called it? This is Kurt Metzger on Twitter. Because James Comey's daughter is the prosecutor.
Yep.
Remember how well she swept up on the Ghislaine trail?
Yep.
Hey, who else called it?
Yep.
I can't be the only one. Yeah, he called it.
Yep.
He called it in
I
the
remember this
fucking
now.
He called it in the fucking green room of the mothership. Right when he found out, he goes, he's going to walk. I'm like, what are you talking about? Have you heard these charges?
Yeah.
He's going to go to jail.
Yeah.
No, Metzger was right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we I don't know what happened with
And
Ghislaine
you don't
Maxwell.
think
What's
they
she
could
doing
fake
right
the
now?
moon landing?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. They've got videotape, and all of a sudden they don't. You know, you got the director of the FBI on this show saying there's no if there was, nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what? Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible shit? Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
What, are you talking about Epstein or Diddy?
Yeah, Epstein.
Yeah, she said it literally, I think, a week before you had the FBI director sitting here telling you there was nothing, right?
She said something about that there was like thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible crimes.
There is. And didn't the FBI dude say that there was nothing?
Cash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to push back.
Right. No, of course. I understand.
Obviously,
I understand.
he's saying what he has to say.
Right.
Mystery surrounds the Jeffrey Epstein files after Bondi claims tens of thousands of videos. Tens of thousands. Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you what.
Chill. Oh, my God. Was reviewing tens of thousands of videos, the wealthy financier with children or child porn. The comment made to reporters at the White House days after a similar remark to a stranger with a hidden camera raised the stakes for President Donald Trump's administration to prove it has in its possession previously unseen compelling documents. Or just bomb Iran, and everybody forgets
Just
about
bomb Iran, yeah.
Everybody forgets about it.
Yeah, it seems crazy that we're just I would think just Trump's demeanor, his MO towards other countries, like if we're the ones funding them, giving them all this money and they're trying to fight a war, like typically he would be putting his boot on their neck, like, listen, you motherfucker, like he's talking shit, right? Like you have to do what I want you to do. And it just seems like, and now I think it just came out a couple days ago that they're trying to prosecute Netanyahu, right? And then Trump's helping with it, I think, trying to help him, Netanyahu, in that whole rigmarole.
Well, they're trying to try him while he's while he's in office.
Right, and I think
and he's trying to delay it because he's like, look, we're at war. And,
right.
And they decide to go through with it.
Yeah. And I think something came out, I think a couple days ago. I could be wrong, but I was listening to Dave Smith talk about how Trump was actually like helping him through this. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Okay, here it says, during a Fox News Channel interview in February, Bondi suggested an alleged Epstein client list was sitting on her desk.
Yeah. Well, the list is one thing, right? I mean, there's so many people on the list that are probably innocent, but they're
right. They just went to the island for a party.
No, there's got to be a fucking hard drive.
There's got to be
sitting in Tel Aviv right now.
Yeah, listen.
That's the other part of this too. They asked Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers what their shit. Where was it? disappeared.
He had like 100 cameras in that penthouse, in every single house.
Do you know his house is for sale in New York?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
Should make that a podcast studio.
no, my wife found it on Trulia or whatever it is.
Yeah.
One of the maps. And she's like, look at this beautiful, because we were in New
The
York.
townhouse?
Yeah, like it's not a townhouse. It's a house. It's like it's a big ass house. It's like multiple stories.
The one right across the street from Central Park?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That one. It's for sale right now.
How much?
I think it was like 60 or 70 million, something like that, which is what it's worth. But who wants to live in the Epstein house? First of all, if I bought that house, I'd want the Clinton painting. Can you get me that painting?
Yeah.
Clinton in the
It's
blue
gotta
dress.
come with all that shit
I
inside.
have to have that painting. I want George Bush with the Jenga towers and the paper airplanes. I want all of it.
And then the lady just died too. The lady got hit by a car, one of the witnesses.
Yeah.
One of the Jeffrey Epstein witnesses. And then apparently she had like a husband who was abusing her. And people like to use this stuff as like a political football to like argue for whatever they believe in.
And also, when you get rich, powerful people. So here's the thing that happens with rich, powerful people. They can't go anywhere, right? If you're like, say, a Jeff Bezos type or someone who's like an Elon Musk type. And I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm just saying at that caliber of celebrity and that caliber of prominence, you can't go anywhere. If you're Bill Clinton back in the 80s or the 90s, whatever it was, you can't go party.
Right.
Everybody knows who you are. You got to be protected, right? But you want these experiences. And so you have these guys, like a Jeffrey Epstein type guy, who works with the elite of the elite clientele. It's all movie stars, big-time politicians, world leaders, scientists, Nobel Prize winners, and they all meet together and have fascinating conversations and cocktails, and there's beautiful girls everywhere. Of course. What a great idea.
Right.
And if you're naive and you don't understand honeypots.
Here's the quote from Maria Farmer, who was one of the accusers from what was inside the house in New York.
Okay, she said, there were monitors inside this cabinet. I looked on the cameras, and I saw toilet, bed, toilet, she said, visibly spooked. Like, I'm never going to use the restroom here, and I'm never going to sleep here. You know what I mean? It was very obvious that they were, like, monitoring private moments. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Maria Farmer was the one who worked at Epstein's office in New York, I think.
And this was the house, Jamie?
Yeah, I was looking up stuff on the house. That was like what they
I
found.
wonder if the
in
house still
too.
has fucking cameras in it somewhere that they haven't found yet.
They definitely, don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to scan the shit out of that house. You'd have to take the walls apart. There's probably listening devices inside the walls. Like, who knows? If this was like really an intelligence
there's so
operation,
much.
yeah, they probably had that house fully wired.
Maria Farmer, I think she was the chick who was working the front desk at his office in Manhattan. And this is like a funny example of like what I like to do. My mom is super left wing. Has her degree in fine arts. And,
Oh, boy.
And she still is like an art professor. And my dad is a ex post office worker. And he's only watches Fox. So my dad only watches Fox. They're divorced. My mom only watches CNN.
Jesus, why didn't they stay together? How weird.
Who knows? And I like to like take things that are happening and then controversial things, like for Epstein example, and I like to just like call my mom and argue with her. Like argue the right wing side against my mom's point of view on Epstein, and then I'll call my dad and I'll make the same argument the opposite argument towards him. It's like a fucking thought experiment or like a critical thinking exercise.
You use your parents
And
to
my
spar
mom,
with.
my mom, she'll be like, of course, like Trump. There's more footage of Trump with Epstein than anybody. Are you kidding me? He's partying with him here. Like, of course he's compromised. And then my dad's like, it's fucking Clinton, bro. It's like, it's only Bill Clinton. Look, he's the only one on the Epstein files. Of course we know he's a pervert, all this stuff. But like, and then so the funny thing is both sides will use their little batch of evidence to support their idea and ignore the opposite, right? So like the girl we were just talking about, Virginia, she was literally on video saying that all this shit about Bill Clinton on the jet, going to the island, hanging out with Trump and all this stuff. And the right-wing people, like people I know, my parents and like older folks I know in Florida, will say, she came out, thank you for exposing Bill Clinton for being a pedo and doing all this stuff. And Virginia Giuffre, after this happened, she's like, you guys didn't listen to the whole fucking tape. She's like, I was telling you that Trump was at the penthouse 3 days a week and visiting him, but you guys don't want to hear that. And it's like, it's just this weird thing. Like if you do the math, there's there's got to be, it's got to be so many high level, powerful people that are somehow compromised. And do I think like Clinton and these guys are pedos? No, I don't think that at all. But if you were Jeffrey Epstein, you would, I think it's super plausible to assume that he would try to trick them with like a girl who looks old, right? Who is possibly like on the borderline of being 18. And you say, oh yeah, this girl, she's 18, 19, 20, whatever. Meanwhile, she's like 17 and they had no idea and they have video footage. And in like a court of law, if I'm the judge, I'm going to let them, like, of course, they fucking lied to him. And this is not like some young girl, obviously, but they lied. Yeah. But like in like the court of public opinion, you're never going to win in that case, right? Like if that comes out, you're fucked.
You're fucked. I mean, you're fucked if you just go into the island to bang hookers. Like it's like they're of age. Mm-hmm. It's still like whatever he was doing, you preyed on people's desire for experiences and vice.
Yes.
And all these powerful people who, again, they can't just go call a hooker and the hooker goes, oh my God, I just blew Bill Gates. This is nuts. You know what I mean? Like, you can't trust them. So you have to trust someone who really has a lockdown organization. And they felt like he did.
Yeah.
And that's why they all hung out with him even after he got arrested. This is what's crazy.
That is crazy.
A lot of Bill Gates meetings with him were after he was prosecuted. And he got this little slap on the wrist and he got essentially home detainment, and I think he had to do like weekends at the jail. Like it was like great for underage sex for what's supposed to be a felony. The whole thing is crazy. And then when there's one reporter that really chased it down, I forget her name, but she really looked into it, and that's when they opened up the second case, the second trial.
Vicky Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky Ward. Was she from what paper? Vanity Fair. So she was responsible for because she was like, this is insane. Like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. And then there was the sheriff that had arrested him, said that I was told he was intelligence. And I mean, you got to think, man, if a guy like that is running these kind of parties with all these rich and powerful people, how many different worldwide decisions can be manipulated because of these people and the compromises you have on them.
Right.
It's really a brilliant thing to do.
Yeah.
From an intelligence perspective.
Yeah, it really is, man. And like the way that the world is shaping out now and this like rise of Jew hate online is, and I think a lot of it's bots, I think it's coming from every angle. I think it's probably a lot of propaganda and bots coming from Iran, coming from Israel, Saudi, who knows where it's all coming from. It's just such a confusing crock of shit on the internet. But like, on one hand, they were able to pull off some incredible fucking operations. And, on the other hand, we get mad. Now that it gets exposed, we get mad that they have their hooks in us, and the people that are in power, whatever the politicians are, the puppets, just like bend the knee to whatever they're doing. And it gets exposed when people like Tucker did that interview with Ted Cruz, and he had him on his heels the whole time. That was incredible. That was a fucking a biblical fucking interview with Ted Cruz, and that really like pulled the mask off, because like if that guy is explaining his position on Israel, being in Congress, and that's his number one thing that made him want to be a congressman, it's like, what are all these other people doing then? Like if there's all this money, and you can see the receipts, how much money they're being given by these lobbies. But like how mad can you get because we let them do it? They're legally allowed to do it.
Yeah, you could be mad, but you really should be mad at the politicians.
Yeah.
The corrupt politicians, and how many of them there are. And like look at the mayoral race, where they all were saying, my first trip, I'm going to go to Israel.
Oh, yeah, except for the dude, for, what's his name? Won. He said he's going to stay in New York.
The communist, yeah. He's like, I'm going to take care of the Jews in New York. Boom, checkmate. That was it. That literally won it for him. Because everybody else was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, New York is fucked. Take care of this goddamn city. Why? What's this loyalty and allegiance to Israel from the New York City mayors? The people that are candidates for mayor? Yeah. Like your number one concern is Israel? That seems odd. Unless you're getting a ton of money. Unless they have some video footage.
Yeah. The more I think about politics and just look at the news cycle every day, I just feel like I get dumber.
It's a dumb business. It's a dumb, dirty business.
It really is, dude. Just like sometimes I'm just like not motivated to read the daily news, you know? Like I was telling this to Gavin too. I was like to focus on the culture wars 24/7, 365 and fucking talk about it all day is draining, dude.
Yeah, you can't. It's bad. It's bad for you.